what's up, guys? TD Bappo here. Welcome to another episode of Stream here at Top Deck Games. We are here for the APAC League Season 4. Um, Very excited to see some matches. We got standard format here, and the players are getting ready to play. Let's get into the tables. All right. So we have Khalil running his favorite deck, Boros Tokens. He's up against Eric, who's playing Rakdos Lizards. That's obviously my deck, because I made that. So, guys, say hello to the stream. If you just tuned in, welcome. We're going to have 3 rounds of Swiss, and of course, top players are going to get some cool prizes. And we'll also be having an APAC League event as well for Top Deck League and tomorrow. So time check would be 2 p.m. on their end. So if you're looking to play some standard, be sure to message Top Deck Games and reserve your slots. All right. So shout outs to our viewers from Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch as we are simulcasting the stream. All right, so it looks like Khalil is on the play. Starting off with the planes. Eric goes to play a land and passes as well. Nothing much happening in the first turn, so this is a good turn for Khalil, playing the carrot cake. Gets a token, gets the scry, fix the top of his library. So it looks like he likes what he sees. And he can sacrifice it later to gain 3 life and gain the same effect once again. Very repetitive effect. So looking at Eric's hand. Right, Mudflat Village. I think you should start off with a Deep Cavern Bat. Yep, it's pretty good. Needs to get some information. There's the Fountain Port, Get Lost. Oh, that's the... Oh my god. He's got the nuts. Just by looking at this hand, he got Urbrask Forge, Caretaker's Talent, Enduring Innocence. It's a 1 copy in his deck, by the way. He's still looking for multiple copies. But the fact that this hand is super juiced means that I think Khalil's going to have a good time in this first game. So Get Lost is the pick here for Eric. Looks like he doesn't want to get his creatures removed. I think that's the case. But I think it's much more difficult to deal with the Caretaker's Talents into what do you call this? The Urbrask Forge combo, where he just draws a bunch of cards. He can even play Enduring Innocence just to keep a blocker. And just match the life total of Eric. Alright, starting off with the talents. So we can opt to create a copy of a token later and then start pumping his tokens with the 3rd level. So Eric down to 19. Alright, so switching life totals over there. Just looking to play Jasper. Try to get some cards from his hand as well. So he could get a couple of cards like an Urbrask Forge. That could be a good hit for Eric to swing the tide. Because I don't know how he's going to deal with this combo as it's going to resolve. We got a reader here. Yeah, it's got to be the upkeep, I believe, for Jasper Flint. All right, what is Khalil's next move here? So Jasper Flint says, beginning of your upkeep, exile top X cards, or X is the number of outlaws. So he just, yeah. And he takes out the Jasper Flint with the Lightning Helix. Not bad, not bad. He can even opt to draw a card with the Rabbit token using Caretaker's Talents. So seems to be a very efficient turn for Mr. Khalil. All right, but or you could just sacrifice the Carrot Cake, which is much more value. Kind of makes sense over there. So 21 to 20. Life totals are not really moving so much for both of these players. Eric should have had a more aggressive turn, but didn't have the first turn one drop. Unfortunately, another deep cavern bat, and he puts a counter on it with give. Looks like he would. Yeah, he would opt to pick the innocence. Oh, he goes for the forge. I mean, that one makes sense since that could definitely drag as things drag a little bit longer. The forge definitely turns into a huge threat on the board, which is what Khalil would want. I don't think he's worried about his life total at this point. I think he's at 24. Oh, he's got a lot. He's got a lot of life from that lightning helix, and he gains 3 life from the carrot cake. He gets to draw a card. Looks at the top. They can draw again with Caretaker's Talent. Gets a Fabled Passage, so he can play Innocence, uh, level up the Caretaker's Talent, and draw a card from the token. Or rather, 2 cards. So, still not in a bad position here for Khalil. Very, very uh, well poised to start drawing a bunch of cards and start answering Eric's board at this point. And I think that should be the obvious choice here. Yep. And you should start activating Caretaker Silent, making another rabbit token. Gets the level up, gets another rabbit. Triggers the innocence and the talent to draw a card. Oh. Ooh, ooh, baby. That was delicious. That was pretty good. Yeah, I guess you just pass the turn. The good thing about Enduring Innocence is that card is bonkers. Because if you read the card, it basically says when it dies as a creature, it comes back as an enchantment, which means the card's gonna stick. So it's pretty much another copy of Caretaker's Talent. So Eric's got his game plan off to a stop right here. All right, goes for the offspring with the Vine Lasher, which is pretty good. It's gonna pressure a little bit more on Khalil's life total. Yeah, so it's gonna put a counter on the Vine Lasher, the original one, and he's gonna get another copy of it. Uh huh. And he's looking to get the token. Or a proper token for Vine Lasher. It's pretty hard to get one these days. And he gets a counter. They both get counters as they enter. Yep, that's much better. See if we can play a land. There you go. Triggers 2 damage from Vine Lashers. Yep, goes down to 19. Eric's at 23. The League Cavern Bats are just keeping things stable. But, oh my god. Let's not forget, he drew Torch the Tower of the Innocence and Talents. And he gets back the Get Lost. I'm surprised he didn't want to get his Urbrass Forge right there. He could have just played it and then just drew a bunch of cards. You know. I mean, he could do it right now. Like, so I think Khalil is slowly taking control of the board at this point. Like, he's just super ahead. Like, if you look at Eric's side, he's got a bunch of creatures. He's got Gev. Gev is pretty good. Also Vine Lashers. But he has 1 card left in his hand. Meanwhile, Khalil is going to start drawing a bunch of cards. And he's going to start pumping his tokens. Oh, okay. So that's why he didn't do it. Because he had another copy. Oh, that's disgusting. Oh, Lord. Yep. Khalil in the think tank. Definitely. I mean, he could just proceed to combat and draw a bunch of cards before he could, like, take him to the next step. There you go. Gets the Phyrexian token. There's another Caretaker's Talent, and that's a Sunken Citadel. So basically, Khalil has already assembled the combo for this deck, where it's just super hard to catch up because you're just gonna get outvalued by this deck. Like with all the bunch of tokens, all the bunch of cards that Khalil can have to just answer Eric's board. He could even like just draw in his Sunfall and reset the board. But I'm pretty sure he doesn't want to do that just yet. I don't. Yeah. He'd rather wait for the Innocence to die and then start casting the Sunfall. Or just wait for Eric to commit. Because Eric at this point, he needs to do something. Alright, starting off with 2 for the Deep Cavern Mat. No. Just thinking about it. Alright. All of them are swinging. Doesn't seem to be afraid for the Innocence. I think this is good. This is a good block for Khalil. To take out the Vine Lasher token. Well, it looks like Khalil has a response from his hand. Nope. That was the Innocence. Just blocking. I wonder why he wanted to block the Vine Lasher, though. Shouldn't be too worried about his life total. I think it's down to 13, if I'm not mistaken. And then it just gains 2 life up to 15. Okay, never mind. He was at 11. Going down to 15. 13, rather. And Eric's still at 25, if I'm not mistaken. But I still think Khalil is just super ahead in the board right now. And Eric's just going to force out the Jasper. And that's going to deal 1 damage. And put a counter on Jasper again. So it may seem like Eric has a scary board, but Khalil is about to draw a bunch of cards. In response, deals the Jasper once again. So it looks like Khalil is very patient with just keeping his removals to answer Eric's possible cards that could get him back into the game. So creates 2 map tokens right there. Gonna draw off the top. What's the play here? I could just go to combat once again and just draw 2 cards. Oh, he's got Beza. All right. So it looks like he could start stabilizing his life total and take over the board once again. Yeah, he's going to get a lot of value from this. So he's going to make a bunch of tokens and... Oh, okay. That's also good. If he has another land, he can play 3-4. There's Beza. Yeah, this is pretty much going to be over at this point. There's just too much value for Khalil. Making 2 fish. It's going to get him to draw 3 cards. He's going to gain 4 life from Beza. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. Oh my god. And he got the Sunfall right there. And even then, Eric's just going to have a hard time getting back into this. But it looks like a little bit mistrigger here from Khalil. He forgot to uptick the Urbrass Forge right there. It should be in the second. People tend to forget when a lot of things happen on the board. So next turn, Khalil can basically level up the talent into level 3. And then all the tokens become like 3/3s. Super hard to deal with. So it's gonna explore with the map on Gev. Oh no, the Deep Cavern map. Okay, Thought Lock. Thought. Damn it, I forgot the name of the card. The Warlock. It's pretty much a Thoughtseize on a lizard. Thought Stalker Warlock. There you go. Alright. Eric up to 29. Khalil down to 12. Down to 10. Still not over. And he gets the Jasper once again. Puts him down to 9. And Jasper is now a 4/4. Eric's not doing too bad, considering he's just top decking at this point. The Mudflat Village is giving him a little bit of recursion. So technically, this is like the 3rd Jasper that has resolved on the field. But again, this is like super rough because Khalil is so ahead on the board right now. He's got Beza, he's got 2 Caretaker's Talent, as well as the Enduring Innocence that has flipped into an enchantment. And the Urbrass Forge is just, even without the Beza, he's just going to gain tons of value. Looks like he's going to play a Sunfall. He should have attacked first, I think. But I don't think he would mind. He just wants to deal with the... Yeah. That's going to make him a huge incubator token right there. And Eric is just super empty at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if he would scoop for game number 2. He gets the Beza exiled. Gets the Urbras Forge back. And he's got 2 Get Lost from his hand as well, so he's very much beefed. 1, 2. And I'm pretty sure he's going to play the Forge at this point. Nope, goes to combat. Looks like he's going to hold up a trigger, or rather a removal from his hand. Get another Phyrexian Goblin. Eric's still super high on life total, but yeah, it's gonna pass. Just take 3 damage. Yep, that's the Thought Stalker or Warlock. Khalil already knows about this card, so don't think he's worried about this. It's just gonna force him to discard a card. Yeah, he's gonna discard the Lockdown. Don't think he needs it. There's another Merc Flat Village, which can bring back another Jasper Flint. It's gonna get lost. The token, or rather the Stalker. Make 2 map tokens once again. I was thinking he could just flip the incubator, but I don't think it would matter at this point. Yeah, he needs to start pressuring the board. He could just play the Urbras Forge, the second Forge, into flipping the incubator, and then just make a bunch of tokens in the next couple of turns. And that pretty much would close out the game. All right, it's going to flip it, and it's probably going to move to combats. That's 4 and 1. So he's going to draw 3 cards. This deck is pretty disgusting. He gets another Beza and another Caretaker's Talents. Arr. Arr, arr, arr. So that's 5 plus 9? That's 14. So it's going down to 11. Yep, 11. I mean, at this point, I think Eric should concede and go to game 2 right away, because like they are still on the clock. Just letting Khalil play the game. I mean, he's pretty much gonna die next turn, but right, there's the carrot cake. But at this point, Eric should be thinking about like the next game plan. Post board, bring in a bunch of more disruption in it, like the rest. The rest is like super crucial in this matchup, just to take care of some of these super annoying talents. So looks like he's gonna activate the village and bring back Jasper Flints. I'm not sure what you could do with this board state. He's still playing the Jasper Flint. He's going to explore. In response, he has another removal. That should be game number 1. Yep, there you go. All right, Khalil with a very convincing game number one win right there. But this is a best of three, so we're just gonna wait for next game. In the meantime, guys, for those watching, thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to leave a comment down below, leave a like in the stream, and don't forget to share if you've enjoyed our contents. We've just started getting back in the stream for our TCGs. Of course, it's been a while since we've streamed Magic, but we've been very frequent with One Piece card game and Cardfight Vanguard. Hopefully soon for Y Schwartz. But do stick around if you definitely enjoy our contents. But right now, this is the APAC League. This is the last season. And of course, some of these guys want to have a shot at the main event, which I believe is in Singapore at the end of the month. We already have some invited players that are thrilled to be joining such an event. Let's not forget there's already an announced event for December. I believe it's the Gold Rush. It's always been a pleasure to join Ludus's big events. It's yearly year-end event. Right now they brought back Standard, which is thank God. I've been wanting for Standard to come back for Gold Rush because it has been the pinnacle of Magic as a format for quite some time. People were just reluctant to get back into the format because of how difficult it is to build decks for some reason, probably because of the barrier, and of course the monetary value of getting the cards rotated out. But if you're competitive, I think it's pretty much the most recommended format to get into. It's just super fun. And now it's back, especially for Gold Rush. On top of that, they also have Modern and Pauper, which is also pretty cool. Top Deck was able to represent last year, and we got some pretty decent results getting into the top 8s for Modern specifically. And Pauper. I think we got top 8 Pauper as well, which was pretty good. All right, so the boys are getting ready for game number 2. Eric on the play. He needs that 1-2-3, 1-2 punch of a start. It's very crucial for the Lizards to get a very fast start, because otherwise Khalil is just gonna take over the board and just control everything. Anything that comes in on site, it's pretty much dead. That's the name of the game for Boros tokens. Just flood the board with tokens, delay as much as possible, get your combo assembled with the Caretaker's Talent into Urbrass Forge or Enduring Innocence, if you're into that. And then, yeah, just pretty much take over the game, because it gets really tough from there on point. Like, you never run out of cards. You never run out of resources to deal with your opponent's cards. Like, that's just the strength, the main strength of playing Boros tokens. Which is why some of the decks are preferred to play a much faster pace. Like, for example, Gruul Aggro, which is playing the Ley Line of Resonance. It's a very powerful deck. And in the right hands, you can just basically end the game in like 2 or 3 turns. Which is what you need if you want to beat these types of decks. Because as efficient as these decks are, they're pretty slow for the first 3 turns. So this is a very crucial moment for Eric to see if he has a good curve here. He's got 3 lands. Question is, does he have a 1-drop? He's got the Burning Tree Emissary of the Lizard on his hand. He's got a Braid, Laughing Jasper. Still nothing on the first turn. But of course, you don't want to mulligan heavily on this matchup as well. Right, draws another land. Not very good. I think he has to play the Fireglass Mentor. He has no way to deal damage at this point. So I think Fireglass Mentor is the pick. Yep, that should be it. Or I can just chill. Because the next turn, next turn, if Khalil doesn't have anything, you just play the BTE into Jasper next turn, which is a very good curve. Right, so, but looking at Khalil's hand, already has the combo assembled, which is insane. Seems to be very consistent with this type of deck. So he gets to scry and get a rabbit token. Right, puts it at the bottom. Does not like what he sees. All right, so the question is, does Khalil is he gonna let him block? Oh, that's a pretty good draw right there. So he can just chain. If he takes the damage, all right, gets Cavern of Souls ready. No, just plays Jasper. Not even attacking. I guess the Fireglass Mentor is 1 toughness. Ah, yeah, it's 1 toughness. That explains it. So he can't attack. That's unfortunate. I was really hoping for not having a blocker right there. But Khalil not having an answer for Jasper Flint on this turn. Even opts to play a Sunken Citadel and just pass. So, yeah, takes the top 2. Ooh, gets a Beza. That's sick. Or Torch the Tower, which is pretty good as well. But Khalil has a temporary lockdown in his hand, which means if Eric gets to commit on the board, definitely would be devastating on his end. All right, looks like he wants to play the Torch and Tower. Uh-huh. All thanks to Jasper Flint. Goes in for 2 damage. 2 plus 3. No, 4. I think Jasper Flint's 4. Yeah, so that's 6 damage. So he's just going to sacrifice the rabbit token. Oh, looks like Eric forgot about that. That's going to get blocked. Oh, no. He should not have attacked with the Mentor. Yikes. I think that was a small misplay right there. But still, he could definitely dump his BTEs right here. Here you go. The geckos. So the reason why we call this the BTE of lizards, but because when it enters, it floats 2 mana, specifically black and red, and it gets to loot as well, which is not bad. Just gonna discard. Ooh, there's the duress. So even though Khalil is able to play the temporary lockdown, like Eric is still looking good at this point. With the Jasper Plant sticking around, taking a bunch of cards off of Khalil's deck. All right, there's the Fable Passage. Cracks it's probably gonna get a white source. I'm assuming. No, goes for the mountain. But he is still at 19, which means that he's not worried about anything crazy about dying on this game. Not anytime soon. He could just deal with with the geckos. Oh, that's a lightning helix, which is pretty good. So now he has to decide if he wants to deal with. Yeah, he wants to deal with that first. He'll be glad to take a bunch of damage next turn, go down to 18 potentially. But the duress is gonna come in, and that's a second abrade right there. So I think this lockdown is looking to be very, yeah, it's gonna be taken out. Oh, but there's a Beza. That's not good. I'm pretty sure the abrade is not gonna do anything unless he gets a fourth land and takes out the Beza with two abrades. Yeah, easy answer right there. Gets a land. Uh, so I think Beza would be the play here. Unless he wants to take 4 damage again and just play the Caretaker's Talent. Just to gain a lot of value from the Beza. Yep, I think that's the plan. I think Khalil is like, he's going to sandbag the Beza to get a lot of value from the Caretaker's Talent. So Eric needs to find a way to take care of that. Probably a Thought Stalker Warlock off the top. Hired Lizard. Not it. Oh, he's got another Duress. Okay, there you go. So that's going to deal 5. He knows that Beza is on his hand, which is not looking good for him. He doesn't know what to do. He could just trade probably with one of the geckos. Yep. Is he going to pump the Hired Claw? Oh, looks like it does. So 14. I would imagine 13. All right, 4 damage. And it's passing the turn. Looks like Khalil is about to stabilize once again. And there's the Carrot Cake. Oh my god. Which means he's not worried about his life total anytime soon. Because he's going to get it back right off as he plays this Beza. Beza, my boy. Such a good card from Bloomborough. And we're going to see it right now. When he plays it, he's going to get a bunch of fish tokens, which is going to get him to draw a card as well. I wonder if he remembers the mana that he's going to tap. Yeah, he's going to gain life as well, going up to 17. Yeah. Ooh. And he gets to draw. There you go, and he drew a removal right there, which is pretty good. So he's pretty much got a Carrot Cake and a Get. Oh, was that a Get Lost? I think it was Get Lost. The top decks. Oh, but it's a red. That's a red sunken. Okay, that makes things awkward. Should have tapped your land properly right there, Khalil. All right, geckos in the face. No blocks. Or okay, he's just gonna take one damage from the hired claw. And now he's gonna block. And now Eric can take care of the Beza. Hold up. He's gonna sacrifice the fish token to draw a card. So he's definitely gonna play the rest first before killing the Beza. And there's two removals right there in his hand. Lightning Helix, Get Lost, Carrot Cake, and a Fountain Port. This is rough. This is very rough. Yeah, definitely want to take out the Lightning Helix. Into a Braid, that's 3 damage. Yep, do the math. Eric. Eric is struggling to close out the game. Look at Khalil's life total is still at 16. He's got the Carrot Cake in his hand, 2 Fountain Ports, and a Caretaker's Talent just to drag the game a bit further. This is not looking good, ladies and gentlemen. If you're a fan of lizards, you don't want to be seeing this game at this point because that's already 2 Duresses and a Braid being thrown at by Eric, and still far away from dealing lethal damage. This is just so rough. All right, takes one from the Battlefield Forge and gets another Beza off the top. Oh my god. Jesus. This is a beatdown. Oh my. Gets up to 19 life. Yeah, he's not gonna make a bunch of tokens just yet, because he has equal amounts of creatures as Beza enters, but the fish token is gonna get copied. He's gonna get to draw a card off the top, and there's a torch, the tower, which is looking pretty good for Khalil. This is so rough. And to think Eric has a Beza hidden. He took the first Beza off the top with Laughing Jasper, and now there's 2 Bezas being resolved in Khalil's side. This is pretty insane gameplay from Khalil right here. Yeah, Eric's doing the math. I don't think you're gonna get through this Beza at this point. It's just too much. And the Caretaker's Talent's already level 2. He can pump it to level 3. You have no way to interact this. Yeah, he's trying to read Jasper to see if he can play the Beza of his own. Which I'm not sure if he could do that. Bring in your upkeep, exile the top X cards. Until end of turn, you may cast spells. Okay, so he can't cast it. Yes, I know. He can't cast it.
You can cast it.
So there's a judge call, by the way. Yep, it's forever exiled, my man. Because the wording says, until end of turn, as you exiled these cards, you may cast spells from among them. But you already lost that window. So, unfortunately, you do not have that line. Alright, gets the hired claw and pass. You could have just cycled it. Alright, it's about to be Khalil's turn. Which I fear. Oh my god. And there's the torch, the tower. just to make things worse. Alright, gets a Sunken Citadel. Yep, makes it the whites. I like how he's arranging the citadels based off the basics. Alright, so that's 3 mana. No. That's 2 mana. Gets a carrot cake, draws a card, and then he scries. Man, looks like Khalil's gonna take over the game pretty much soon. He already has Beza. He's got Caretaker's Talent. That's like the worst thing you could get when you're an aggro deck going up against this kind of deck. Alright, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. What's he trying to cast? Oh, he's gonna pop. Alright, yep. Finally, level 3 Caretaker's Talent. These are big, chunky creatures, by the way. 3 3s. And it's gonna go in on the face. That's 2, 2, 3. Yeah, they're too small. Now, you can pump them, but I don't think he's worried about that. Yeah, he's gonna go really aggressive. And starts smashing his face. Takes it. Yep, that's 10 damage. Eric. Let's see if he has anything off the top. Probably a land. It's not looking good. Alright, Hired Claw, deal 2 damage. Yep. With the trigger and no blocks. Does not pump. What is he doing? Puts it on the Hired Claw. The first one. Alright, he's gonna do both. Alright, just passes the turn. Just holding on. Just holding on. If he has a remove, I'm pretty sure this is pretty much over. Like, just get lost one of the Hired Claw and deal lethal. Like, he's already tapped out. Yeah, this is pretty much game over. Yeah. Yep. What? Wait, what? He's gonna play Talent? Khalil! The game is already over. He's dead. He's dead. He's gonna draw a card. Up, draw 2. I'm pretty sure he has Get Lost, unless I'm pretty blind on this. Oh, he's gonna get to the level 3. Okay, that's pretty much lethal then. Alright, GG's. There's the fist bump. Okay. But I'm pretty sure he has a Get Lost in his hand. Now, as you can see, Boros Tokens taking over game number 1. Or rather, first match or first round of the game. Of the Swiss rounds here in Top Deck Games. APAC League Season 4. Khalil looking very good and quite consistent with his starting hand. The starting hand was pretty strong, man. It was also very resilient to duress. And potentially, even if Eric had a Deep Cavern Bat, like, it still would have been rough on it for him. Just because the removals are just super efficient. Alright, so before we move on to the next match, we're just going to be waiting for them to finish off. But until then, let me just pull my face. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Of course, stay tuned. We're not done yet. We still have the second match coming your way. I'll just have the advertisement coming in. Be right back, guys. Don't forget, stay tuned. All right, guys, welcome back once again to another round of Magic the Gathering here with me, TD Bapo, here in Top Deck Games. This is round number 2 between Renzo and Hilkia. Renzo running Mono Red aggro, I believe. I think this is Anton's deck. Made a bunch of tweaks in between the list. But he's looking to get some wins today. I believe this is the top tables. So another win would guarantee top 3, if I'm not mistaken. And Hilkia running the latest list, by the way, of Golgari midrange, where they're playing the Unstoppable Slasher. This is pretty much Mono Black Demons, except it's playing green. So just the flavor. If you want to play some new cards from Bloomburrow and Duskmorn. So Unstoppable Slasher, by the way, is making waves in the current metagame. Not just in Standard, but mostly in Pioneer, because we just had our regional championships finished over in Japan last weekend. And the previous weekend was in Atlanta, if I'm not mistaken. And we just saw this card like just wrecking havoc in all the tables. As you can see right here. Unstoppable Slasher, it's a 3-mana 2/3 Death Touch zombie assassin that says when it deals combat damage to a player, they lose half life rounded up, which is insane already for a 3-drop. And when it dies, this is the biggest catch for this card is when it dies, if it had no counters, return it to the battlefield under your control tapped with 2 stun counters on it, which means it just keeps coming back over and over unless you have a way to kill it twice on the same turn or 2, which is insane, by the way, because then you'll be super behind, not just in resource but in like tempo on the board state. Like, it's just super to catch up. It's just hard to catch up when this card is just sticking on the field. So I think Renzo is poised to take this because his deck is pretty fast, by the way. It's Mono Red aggro. Like, you don't really care much about these creatures. All right, there's the mulligan for both players. For those who are tuned in, thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed our stream, be sure to leave a like, leave a comment. You know, what do you guys think about the match? Of course, and you know, share the stream if you've enjoyed watching some Magic the Gathering. All All right, once again, this is Mono Red aggro from Renzo running up against Golgari mid range from Hilkia. I don't know why it did that. It just jumped into be right back. No, stop. I did not press anything. So, anyways, I think if Renzo is on the play for the first game, then I would say he has a better chance of taking the first game. Otherwise, it would be kind of rough uh, if Hilkia gets to play first, which means he has that turn one cut down or even possibly the rest. What the hell, Hilkia? He just got his uh, sleeves ripped out. I mean, it's what happens when you play with all these art sleeves. I mean, it's a pretty sick sleeve to have, like Haruruya. Very classic. Ooh. All right, so the real question is who goes first? Because looking at Hilkia's hand, it looks very stacked. Um, he already has the Sentinel cut down. Even a demolition field if Renzo goes for like whatchamacallit, Mishra's Foundry. He's already looking at bottom one card. I think it's a decent card or like a decent hand right now for a mulligan to 6. Renzo, on the other hand, going down to 5, which is not what you'd want to be looking at if you're playing mono red. But sometimes you're just forced to mulligan because it's just super awkward to have these sort of mediocre hands. Like you feel like you're not gonna win with those kinds of hands, so you might as well mulligan, right? So it takes a lot of discipline to really bin those kinds of hands. All right, let's see if we could get a bunch of lands here. No, that's an easy mulligan. Oh, down to 4. My God. This is not looking good for Mr. Renzo de Jesus. But Hilkia is looking comfortable right now. Like, he should be relieved that Renzo is already going down to 4 with this mulligan. If you guys are hearing that, by the way, that's the sound of construction running in the on the background. It's on the other side of the building. As we are looking to get a... Oh, hold up. Looks like we have a pretty sick hand here from Renzo. Yeah, he might be bottoming one of the slick shots. Manifold Mouse. Yeah. Oh, he's got the main deck. Razorkin. Which is a pretty good new card. The Needlehead. And it has a very sick art for the borderless, by the way. The reflection from the eyeglass. So it looks like Hilkio was going first. And he was not afraid of playing the tap land, the Restless Village. Alright, so the question is, does he want to force out the slick shots? Yep, into the removal. I think it is deserving. With a cut down, yep. He has a second cut down as well. He can just play Glissa Sunslayer or Sentinel. I think Sentinel is also a good option because it does 4 toughness, so it's not looking to be bolted right away or like Lightning Strike. Yeah, I concur. I concur. So even that, and it's vigilance, by the way. Oh, Razorkin, already on the field. New card alert from Duskmorn. So he's gonna take one damage from the Razorkin, but if he opts to just play cut down, he shouldn't care, right? It's just one damage. Like, just he could just probably play Shieldred at this point and just not care. Just start smacking. He's thinking. He's really thinking hard if he wants to. Oh yeah, he's gonna take it. Yeah, and he gets the duress. So I think duress is also pretty good. So he's gonna start off with the map token. Try to make the sentinel bigger. Uh, Virtue of persistence. I think I'd bin it. Bin it. And then just play duress. Oh no, he's gonna keep it. Wow. I mean, sure. I'd rather have land drops at this point. All right. It is very empty, siya. So I can just attack, place an, get a map token, and then just activate the map token once again to make the sentinel bigger. Yep, there you go. 2 counters. Down to 16 is Renzo's life total. Alright, he's just drawing a bunch of lands. Let's see if we can get a spell here. That's a shock. Not doing much. And it's not going to kill the Sentinel at this point because it's now a 5/6. And it's just going to get bigger and bigger. And now he's just going to use the... It's probably just going to use the Virtue. Just take care of the Razorkin. So this is looking rough. Oh, okay, nice. Yeah, I think that's a fine trade for a mythic. He's still empty-handed, so he just doesn't want him to gain life. So hats off to Renzo for still trying to fight his way. And just, yep, there's another duress, putting it in the bin, and it's helping him get the counter. He's already past the turn, doesn't have anything. So Surveil gets another land. Looks like he's gonna bin it. We're down to 6. Think. Oh yeah, and for a mulligan to 4, he's like Renzo's like flooding super hard. Yeah, it was pretty much game over. All right, so Hilkia taking game number 1 with Golgari midrange. Nothing surprising at this point because he did get the first turn. And at the same time, Renzo went down to 4 with his mulligan, which is not what you want to see if you're playing mono red. Like, you want to have your starting hand stacked because that's pretty much your lethal hand, technically. So you definitely want to not be too aggressive with the mulligans. But I mean, I digress because if you saw Renzo's hands earlier, they were just oblivious. Like, he couldn't play them. There were no lands that he could see. Oh, and he's playing Inti. Very interesting list here from Renzo. It's a little bit more of a mid-range Valiant type of deck, which I think it's fine. I think it would deal better against this type of deck. It still has some looming issues with the matchup, which is, you know, in the black base mid range decks, they have Aklazots, which is super annoying to deal with, And the Urbras Forge is pretty easy to answer because green based, because of the green color, it's they have answers to that. Like pick your poison, super easy, and even Terror Asunder. On top of the main deck already has a lot of answers. But as you can see, Hilkia is already boarding out Sholdred, which is one of the slower cards to keep. I would even consider just uh, boarding out the Archfiend of the Dross. All right, let's just pull up this card. By the way, just swap. So yeah, Shoulder, as good as the card is, and it's been very good for since the existence of the card, you would definitely see that it is definitely slow against this type of deck. Like Mono Red, you can't just willy nilly your way to like slamming a Shoulder on turn 4, and when you're in the draw, you're pretty much dead at that point because they have Witch Stalker Frenzy. You gotta respect that. So you need to be more efficient with your creatures and your spells as you're trying to stave off some damage. All right, but on Renzo's end, I would say he should have an edge. Should he keep a 7 card hand when he's starting? He needs to. I mean, otherwise, like Mulligan to 6 is already super painful. 5 is like too much, and then 4 is just like harakiri. There's no way you could like recover from that. All right, both players are just shuffling, waiting for game number 2 to start. If you're new to this channel, be sure to leave a like and comments. What do you think about the matches so far? If you've enjoyed our content, be sure to share the stream. Definitely help our cause in spreading out our favorite card games being covered by Top Deck Games. And Friday is the night for Magic the Gathering to get its coverage. Tomorrow it's going to be One Piece card game and Cardfight Vanguard. It looks like that's a sleeve being ruined. Yeah, so another thing that Hilkia should think about is, oh yeah, that's double annoyance. That's definitely post board card. Oh, and that's a quick mulligan right there for Renzo. That's rough. And I think Hilkia is very happy to keep this hand. He should be keeping this. Even as a duress as well. Oh my god. So he's definitely gonna delay the first few turns for Renzo right here. Very rough. One of the powerful things about duress is, although it cannot take a creature card from Renzo's hand, it does give Hilkia like super valuable information, especially when Renzo is going down to a card. Right? There's a bunch of cards. There's a land, and I think that's a shock. And that's the Ember Hearts. Looks like he's gonna keep this. Doesn't wanna go down a bit further. The rest is like the oldest card that anyone would ever see in gameplay. I think the rest should be like a super staple card in standard. Like it should be there for a very long time. Like there's no reason for the card to be rotated out of the format where it's just a very iconic card. People still use it in other formats like Pioneer, even Modern and Legacy, or even Vintage, because there's just too many powerful cards over there. Oh, I don't know about that. Lightning Strike? Very awkward. Oh, if he picked the Might of the Meek, he would have had that Thoughtseize bug where he just drew it off the top. All right, so it looks like Renzo is keeping the Ember Heart Challenger right there. He definitely wants to save up some threats before coming in. And the board, yeah, so it looks like it's time to do it. So Ember Heart, let's look at the combats. Yep, damage. Oh, Hilkia though is thinking about it. If he wants to let him pump the spell. Yep. All right, 17. It's gonna pass. Not even gonna use its the anoints. Just pretty interesting. But the question is, what is the play here? Because he just drew a virtual persistence. Wow, definitely taking his time. It's definitely gonna hard cast it. Yep. So I guess he could cycle. No, he's just gonna let it die. Hold up. He should cycle the might because he needs to draw his threats. Based on experience, like you cannot just hold up your Might of the Meeks, man. Like you gotta cycle them. So it's gonna exile the top with the Ember Hearts. Oh, that's actually gonna live, I think. All right. I think that's Ren's resolve. Draws a land. No, it should live, right? Probably. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I was thinking of the Heartfire hero. Uh, that's gonna get a counter. So never mind. It's gonna die, and the virtue is going to the adventure zone, and it's just gonna pass. But it's still a necessary response over there by Renzo. Now it just needs to be a little bit patient. Okay, I was thinking whether I should have a fountain port on the play. Yep, where he could just start making a bunch of fish tokens. Renzo, the classic. All right, so we got a manifold mouse. He could play the Opsring. It's gonna go on the stack. When it enters, it makes a copy. And I like the art on this one. This is a very sick art from the Manifold Mouse. People thought that this archetype was a joke to begin with because of how cute it looks. Look at that. Cute little mouse. But this is a very dangerous mouse, by the way, because it gives double strike or trample. Usually you'd pick the double strike. Just clear the way. Yeah. And it gets the offspring, which they could both give each other double strikes. So could be a little bit harder to deal with. But I'm such a huge fan of Bloomborough. It did made a huge impact on some of these archetypes in standard after rotation. So super enjoyable. The format has been enjoyable ever since the set came in, including Dustmorn. All right, so it's gonna deal with one of the creatures right there with Anoints. Now the next question is he gonna spend it on the other one? Is he gonna play the other Restless Village right there? Is gonna pass. What's it gonna be? He's really hoping for a creature right there, and it's a land. Not the card you'd want to draw, but sure. Oh wow! Starts off with Might of the Meek. The question is if Hilkia wants it resolved. I think he should respond to it. Just force out a card. No, he's just gonna let it resolve. Oh my god, that's a good draw. Even though like the Manifold Mouse is gonna get answered right away, I'm pretty sure that the case is gonna do wonders. Unfortunately, if you look at Hilkia's hand, he has picked your poison, which can immediately answer the case. I mean, I guess the good thing about Renzo playing case is that he gets the value of discarding a card and then drawing two. Yeah, definitely should, but I think he's pretty much gonna sandbag that one. All right. All right, another might, and surprisingly, Hilkia is just letting it resolve. That's a monstrous rage. Uh-huh. You should go to combat. Let the Manifold Mouse try to get some damage. Double strike. Presume. Doesn't have any blockers. Because next turn, Hilkia can just either deal with the case of the Crimson Pulse. The case is definitely one of the must answers for post board mono red. Just because it's a pretty good comeback card. He just has to dump his hand and then starts drawing a bunch of cards every upkeep. So Hilkia does not want that to happen. So Hilkia is just thinking, like, what are the odds of me getting punished by dealing with this Manifold Mouse? Should I just take the damage? You know, what other ways I can do to make this turn very favorable? All right, so it gets answered right away with another Anoints. We kind of talked about this earlier where Anoint is such a very good card in the metagame right now because of Unstoppable Slasher. So if you're dealing with like a more a mirror match or black base mirror match, you could just deal with that Slasher very quickly. Although it doesn't deal the Bloodletter though, because it's a four mana value. Monstrous Rage. There is a Slick Shot, which means he can dump his hand. But these are the main reasons people start playing the Gruul variant because you just need that extra oomph of getting your creature to stick. Hmm. All right. Looks like he wants to go in. Oh, but Renzo say he would definitely go in for this one. All right. Gets the monstrous rage resolve. That's 4. That's 5. Yeah, that's 5 damage. If he does lightning strike, that's 7 plus 3 to the face. That's 10 damage, which is not bad, by the way. All right, so before he takes the damage, gets the lightning strike. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, 9 damage, by the way. All right, pass turn. Finally, we get to see some signs of life from Renzo right here. He's gonna make a fish token, because why not? Go down to 7. Mosswood Dread Knights off the top. He could definitely use the pick your poison, but if he uses it now, I guess he would. I mean, he could just play Virtue into pick your poison, or just leave the pick your poison and then just use the removal, and then just make or use the Mosswood Dread Knight, to start pushing on the board. Oh no, decides for PYP. Ah, chicken goes down. I think he wants the virtue line right here. I mean, what if you're so afraid of like a swift spear or a slick shot into probably double chain spell like Might of the Meek into Monstrous Rage? I guess that's the only thing he's worried. Like it just randomly dies out of luck. But you don't have any blockers. You don't have any like spot removal. So the safest would have been to play the Virtue. Yeah, I was thinking really hard. But right now, Renzo is super empty on board. Wow, it just attacks. Mosswood Dread Knights. And just pass the turn. Just looking to feint a removal right there. Alright, going down to 6. He's a double lightning strike would definitely do the job, by the way. Frenzy is not going to do anything. So he's definitely going to dump it out. So discard, then draw 2. See if we can get something. And it's a land and a Heartfire Hero. It's one of the newest editions of Bloomburrow. It's a sick mouse. Alright, draws a card off the fish, and it looks like he's gonna be stabilizing at this point. But it's not over for Renzo just because the case is already on the field. Alright, there's the Archfiend of the Draws. Gonna get 4 counters. Oil counters. It's one of those sick cards. And there it is, the Virtue. Gonna put him up to 9. And he's not gonna take any damage because it's dealing the card by putting -3, -3 onto the Heartfire. So it doesn't have any power. So swing for 3. 14. 15? No, 14. Right, it's gonna pass. So upkeep, it's gonna draw 2. And draw step. Let's see if we can get anything. There's a Ember Heart Challenger, but I don't think it could push anything further in the sports state because the Archfiend is. This is rough. This is really rough for Renzo. And the Heartfire. I guess he just has to play it because, I mean, that's the only thing the deck has given him. Yep. So it triggers. It should trigger, right? Oh, yeah. There you go. That's the response. And he's going to lose life again. But he's going to get the card off the top. Exiled from the Ember Hearts. It still doesn't do anything. Heartfire Hero. Yeah, pass. Looks like Hilkia is starting to get this in the bag. Yep. I don't think there's anything else for Renzo to do. He's gonna take 6 and 79. That's 3 damage. Yep, that's exiled. He's gonna get a food. Take 9 down to 3. And he's gonna lose 2 down to 1. And he's gonna pass a turn. Let's see if I could turn things around. Oh. Draw step. Oh. Hold up. I mean, he has food, but I don't even know what's in his hand. I mean, it's the last hurrah. He's gotta do something. There's the Swiss Spear. He could. Yep, just for the creature. Monster's Rage. That's 5. I'm not sure it's enough though. 5. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. He's short on one, one life, 1 damage. By the way, guys, like if you do the math, because Swiss Spear has prowess, it turns everything bigger when you cast a non-creature spell. It's gonna gain life. He's gonna deny it with the Lightning Strike. Uh, 7, 3, and it's down to 1. Yep. And there's the handshake. Hilkia pulling it through with game number 2 using Golgari mid-range. That was a sick game, by the way. Even though, and this is why I felt like Hilkia should have just held on to that pick your poison. He was a little bit rushed on dealing with the slick shot, but I also think he was thinking of holding back the virtue just for the Heartfire hero, which I think it's still fine. But in hindsight, if you look at how the game progressed, he almost died, by the way. Like, taking the damage randomly from playing the Mosswood Dread Knight with the Painland. He should have been careful with that, because if he took another damage from that, that would have been lethal. Like, just by tapping out. He even the last turn that he took to deal Renzo down to 1, like, he could have just held back with the Archfiend as a blocker. Like, that was insane, by the way, from both players. Either way, Renzo held his ground. The case was super crucial, but Golgari midrange is still like a very annoying deck to beat or try to beat. All right, so we are on to our last round, but before we proceed to that, we're gonna be taking a quick break. Hold on to your pants, guys. We'll be moving in to the last round of APAC League shortly. Be right back.
Kayo ya? Ay, kalimot ko.
Tupian kami mag-open.
I'm in the big leagues. Told him don't miss me by making his dog like I'm in the big leagues. Yeah, I need a bag, bruh. Send it through quickly. I'm making his dog like I'm in the big leagues. Yeah, told him I'ma hit it out the stands. I deserve another 100 bands. I deserve another 100 fans. Told him this was always fast. I'm in the big leagues. Told him don't miss me by making his dog like I'm in the big league. 1, 2, 3.
So if you're ready, and if you let me, I wanna see it in motion, in 3D. You won't regret me. Champagne confetti. I wanna see it in motion, in 3D. 'Cause you know I like it, girl. 3D. You know I like it, girl. 3D. Body to body to body to body to body. You and me, baby, you know that we got it.
Fuck a put, get that kitty cup. Kilo halo ring, fuck me slow so. Don't you wanna taste it, just to get you started. Virtualistic patience, take it 'cause you earned it. Bling 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 bling, I like chains on chains, blood stains stain my rain. Just a little warm, touch me when you. I gotta say I'm in the mood for a little bit more. I'm saying what kind of beat is today? I need me to stop over. Them on you, on me, on us. Just tell me you want me.
これからみんなでめちゃくちゃ踊って騒ごう騒ごう。
Headbanger.
I know you feel me now. I know you hear me loud. I scream it loud and proud. Missy gon' blow it down. People gon' play me now. In and out of town. Cause I'm the best around. With the crazy style.
All right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the last match for today's stream. This is the APAC League Season 4. This is our final game for the Knights. All right, let me just update the scores. So Helkia on the right side, and on the left side we have Mr. Khalil running Boros tokens. This is one of the interesting matchups to watch, by the way, because both of these decks do degenerate stuff. Golgari, just your very efficient black-based deck, trading 1-for-1 and then just playing all of these, what do you call this? These decks, or rather cards that, oh yeah, that's pretty good. Mosswood Deadrite taking the Torch to Tower. It's pretty sick. And they're from the same set, by the way, so that was on purpose. So Khalil taking the things pretty slow. I think Liliana is a good card to start off. Nice, nice. Yeah, but the interesting thing about this matchup is that Golgari, although very efficient for trading resources, Boros tokens takes it like up a notch. Oh, there you go. right? Like you just lost a card, but you were able to take care of the planeswalker because it's kind of annoying to deal with Liliana as a planeswalker herself. So like the deck has a lot of ways to answer most of the cards in the deck, which is why I'm very interested how this is going to play out. And so far, Khalil very methodical with his turns, just not committing so much on the board. Not even a caretaker's talent because he knows there's a Glissa that could be running amok anytime soon. So if he doesn't have anything to make things clear, then I mean he's just paying 3 mana for nothing, right? So main deck Frillback, interesting. But of course he's gonna try to draw a card. No, he's just gonna play the Dread Knight right off the top. All right, dumps the Go for the Throat. Definitely one of the awkward cards to play, but you'd still need it to deal with Beza, even though it's gonna generate a ton of value already at that point. So there's the fish token on the end step. Khalil not looking good though at this point. Gets another Fabled Passage to filter his deck. Probably gonna get a Plains. It's already 2 cards left from his hand. So I might think Hilkia might take the first game just because of how Khalil is progressing with his board at this point. It's pretty slow compared to the previous games that we saw earlier in the first match. But Hilkia is struggling a bit with his lands. Oh, there you go. That gets the swamp right there from the top, which is pretty good. But doesn't seem to be. Yeah, I could just block and just draw. Oh, it looks like Khalil's going to take it. That's a lot of patience, by the way. Maybe he's opting to make another fish token. There's the Sentinel. So he opted to draw at the end step. So I think it would have been better for him to block. Okay. So it didn't matter because I forgot. Mosswood Dread Knight has trample, which is why he just took the damage. I think that was a fair play right there. All right, looking to pass. Not much he can do. And he's going to take a lot of damage from this. And he's going to try to pump the Dread Knight even further. Nope, he just gets a land. And he's going to play its... Yep. Goes to combat first. Goes for the fish block. This Dread Knight is going to town, by the way. Putting Khalil down to 10. Another map token, getting another land. This is very good for Hilkia, by the way, because he's filtering the top of his deck by drawing these lands. Which means he's most likely going to draw spells. There's the Caretaker's talent. Not sure if that's the card he needs to play right now, but I think the Sunfall would be the better play at this point. 2, 3. He's going to play it either way, so it looks like he doesn't have it. And it's just going to pass. Probably opting to play another fish token during combat, but Hilkia has the upper hand with the Go for the Throats. So he might be looking to activate the Restless Village, if I got that name right. The black green one. The cottage. Dang it. I forgot the name. It's the restless cottage. There you go. Ooh, all right. So goes for the frill back right there to try to deal with the caretaker's talent. In response, I would like to draw a card. Yep, takes care of the caretaker's talent. Gets a map token. So it's gonna take 4 again. Go down to 5. There's a go for the throat once again. This is gonna be it. He already has a copy in his hand. Hilkia looking to take over the game. The first game, by the way. Temporary lockdown? Alright, just to take care of the Dread Knight. Still no sign of a Sunfall. Looks like Khalil was really hoping for that card to pop off. This is lethal, by the way. How is he gonna... He's gonna start off with Duress. Let's see if he has any response. He could survive if he could answer any of Hilkia's creatures on the board right now. Starting with a Virtue. To cheat in the Knights. Is it still gonna resolve? Looks like it is. Oh, okay. Just to deal with the frill back. But I think it's dead. Just play a land. Does he have enough? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, it should be. And that is game. Alright, so it looks like Khalil did not account the Restless Cottage that was sitting right there at the back. So that's game number 1 for Hilkia. Very efficient as the Golgari midrange should be. For game number 2, I think Khalil may still be struggling to deal with this matchup. But that would depend on Hilkia and how he's going to approach this matchup, by the way, because he might be taking off a bunch of removals, which we're seeing right now, which would mean Khalil would be open to bring in some of these creatures post board, like the Kutsul's Flanker. It's one way to like have a gotcha type of thing for the Mosswood Dread Knight. If it dies, you could just exile it before it gets its trigger resolve. Or maybe just more bases, because we have yet to see that card in this game, by the way. Hilkia, on the other hand, I think he is still ahead post board. He just has a lot of answers to the caretaker's talent. But if he doesn't get those cards, like to get them answered, then pretty much Khalil can definitely take over the game very quickly. All right, for those who are still watching, thank you so much for tuning in to our stream. This is the APAC League Season 4 for Magic the Gathering. Format is standard. This is the third round, by the way. Hilkia is up a game. And this is TD Bapo, your host, doing commentary for today's stream. Hope you guys are enjoying your Friday evening. And we're going to see who is going to take over this tournament in just a few moments. Before that, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like and comment down below. What do you think about the matches so far? Don't forget to share the stream if you've enjoyed our content. That would definitely help support our cause in promoting our favorite card games. Magic the Gathering being one of them. Tomorrow it's going to be Cardfight Vanguard and One Piece card game. If you're a big fan of that series, be sure to drop by a Top Deck and we'll hook you up with, you know, a bunch of decks, teach you how to play the game. Right, so Khalil should be playing first, which means he should be rushing into playing Caretaker's Talent into Urbra's Forge. I think that's the 1-2 combo. He could just hold up a bunch of removals in the first 2 turns and you just slam Caretaker's Talent. He just needs to play it as early as possible, regardless if Hilkia has the answer, as we saw earlier in the first game with the Tranquil Frill Black. That card is just pretty good. To have in your deck if you're playing green. I'd probably play 4 if I was playing mono green, just because how good the card is. So what happened earlier was that he played Frill back. He paid 1 mana to destroy the Caretaker's Talent. That's like one of the ways to deal with the card. In the aggro matchup, gain 4 life, which is back-breaking for the aggro decks. All right, we're going to game number 2. Hilkia up a game. Let's see if Khalil can make a comeback here. Looks like Hilkia is keeping. As well as Khalil, there is the Sunken Citadel. Should be assuming it's white. Starting things off with Duress. Oh, and there's the Enduring Innocence. And a Sunfall as well. I think Sunfall would be the pick here. Because you'd definitely be happy to just take a bunch of one for one trades. It's either the Carrot Cake or the Sunfall. Because Sunfall is like super backbreaking. If you're ahead of the game, you have a bunch of creatures and then you just get resetted by that card. That card's just disgusting to play against. But he's looking to take out the Destroy Evil. And judging by Hilkia's hand, I think he just wants to play around having his Shoulder immediately answered. So he's just going to crack the Fable Passage. Doesn't seem to find a untapped land right there in the second turn. Which is fine for Khalil. Just needs to fix his mana. All right, so carrot cake. And no sign of land here for Khalil. Quite unfortunate. Okay, there it is. Another Fable Passage. Is going to crack it and pass the turn. But looks like the Liliana is going to be slamming in. Another tidbit, though, by the way, guys, if you're playing Fable Passage, I would hold back cracking the land, by the way. If you're trying to look for more lands and Fable Passage is on play, I would try to hold back like a turn or two. Yeah, showing off the torch, which was revealed earlier. Because you're more likely to draw your lands based on statistics versus after cracking them. So before you crack your fetch land or your Fable Passage, be sure to check the top of your deck on the next turn. See if you can draw a land. Because normally you want to fetch not only to fix your mana, but to also like filter out your deck very efficiently. So you're more likely to draw your spells after the fact that you fetch it. All right, there's the Sunfall. That's a huge loss right there for Mr. Khalil. So he can opt to attack Liliana with Rabbit and then play Torch the Tower. I think that's a play right there. The rough part, though, is... Yeah, if he wants to... Yeah, it's the down to 2. I think he's forced to use it. Oh, looks like he wants to scry? I guess he does. Even though Liliana was down to lethal. Alright, so that means there's no land. So... Alright, so Fable Passage. He could just play the Passage and slam Shoulder right away. And okay, Unstoppable Slasher. New card alert from Duskmorn. This is gonna be super frustrating to deal with. He needs something like Sunfall. You already dumped it. I can play Caretaker's Talent into leveling up to draw a card. Because he needs to find another Sunfall, another land. He can just answer the Shouldered later. But of course, he's not going to be thinking about that. No, the land. No. Oh, it's Mirrex. He's playing Mirrex. Okay. So, I was worried he was going to tap the land. Tap his lands the wrong way. Luckily, that wasn't the case. So, the Slasher is going to be going in later. But Hilkia... This is what makes tokens very frustrating to like play against, because it doesn't feel bad for them to like just let their tokens die from combat, from whatever, because they've already done their job just taking the magnet. As you can see, he just blocked the Unstoppable Slasher with a Rabbit token. So that's pretty much the goal for the Boros tokens deck, is to delay the game as much as possible and then just overwhelm your opponent with a lot of card advantage from the Caretaker, which is about to pop off in the next couple of turns. But new card alert, by the way, guys. Unholy Annex is the latest hotness right now in Standard and in Pioneer. It just gives Hilkia a slight edge in this matchup if he wants to catch up against the Caretaker's talents. So there is the... Did he level up? Not. Oh yeah, I think it did. not sure. Yeah, it's kind of awkward to read in the screen right now, but so let me read it for you guys. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card. If you control a demon, your opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Otherwise, you lose 2 life. And then you have the other room that says, when you unlock this door, create a 6/6 black demon creature token with flying. So this card packs a punch for, your favorite mid-range decks, black-based mid-range decks that just want extra value off their cards. So this card does already a lot for a Phyrexian Arena type of effect. And to top it off with creating another demon. And if your deck is based on demons, then, it's not hard for this card to really pop off. Same way as the Caretaker's Talent. So here we are. I believe this is on the Urabrask Forge. I was about to say that. Right, takes 1 down to 16. He's going to pass a turn and sacrifice the Phyrexian token. He has, I believe, a Get Lost in his hand. Hilkia got a Duress off the top, which is pretty good. Yeah. So I think he's going to start off with that to check if his Sheoldred is safe. I think that's pretty good. Oh, yeah. So that should force Khalil to answer. Oh, the Annex. That's a good... Yeah, and it shows the innocence from his hand. So Hilke has no choice but to play Sheoldred just to slow down Khalil from drawing a bunch of cards. So he's probably potentially going to take 6 damage next turn. Just by drawing 3 cards, maybe. Yeah, he should slam. Slam the Sheoldred as well as, activate the map token. Alright, so things are looking pretty awkward for Hilkia at this point. And Khalil, this is where the deck tends to shine. Like, the longer you drag the game, the more you're most likely gonna just end up winning, just because of how potent the cards are in the deck. Caretaker's Talent is just gonna pump your tokens later in the game while just giving you a bunch of card advantage on top of like having that Urabrask Forge combo, making a token every turn. Hilkia, who just had its Unholy Annex answered. Oh, hold up. Frill back off the top. Very interesting to see right there. He should block this easily. Alright. And he's going to play the Sheoldred, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, there you go. Shelly. Everyone used to hate that card when it first came out, but now it's like, it's whatever. So take 2 damage. Going down to 18. Thanks for the reminders, Kia. Take 1. What is he going to do? Endurance. Or Enduring Innocence. It's another card latest from Duskmourn. So he's moving to combats. And he's going to draw 2 cards. And that's going to take him 4 damage. Ugh. Let's see if we get an answer here. So it's going to attack. There's the Sheoldred. Alright. That's 2 damage. Sheoldred down to 3. But he needs to answer the Unstoppable Slasher, which is pretty awkward. He could still block with the Enduring Innocence. Pretty much. Oh, he sacrificed the Urabrask Forge with the Torch Tower. So much respect. Not even gonna scry at this point. Alright, I see. Big ups to Khalil right there. Just showing the respect of Sholdred taking over the game. But here it comes. The big old dinosaur. Tranquil Frillback. But first things first. Mosswood Dread Knight off the top from the map token. Not a bad card to draw at this point. Especially since you're going to be answering the Caretaker's talent. Ooh! Gonna pay 1 green. He could even pay 2 to gain 4 life, which could be relevant. I'll just pay 3. So, I think he's gonna sink in all of that. Oh, he's thinking about dealing with the Enduring Innocence. Just to speed up the game, rather. Yeah, he's definitely gonna use it on the Innocence. That's a sick play. But looks like there's a judge call. Hilkiah's trying to understand if he could target the Innocence, which it is legal. It's a... Oh, the sequence of the card. All right, let me check. Tranquil. Destroy, exile. Yep, you have to do the sequence. It will happen, yes. Yes. Yes, my Exaja. Yeah, it should be exile because, all right, so for anyone that's watching right now, what just happened was as Frillback enters the battlefield, Hilkiah paid all 3, which means he has to do the sequence of the card. Let me just pull it up right now as he takes damage of the slasher, going making his life total like half. So if you read the card, he pays that many times, which is 3, and he has to do the sequence of the card right now, written in Frillback, which means destroy target artifact or enchantment, targeting Enduring Innocence, and then exile target player's graveyard, and then gaining 4 life. Doing it all at the same time in one stroke of sequence right there. So there was no window for Enduring Innocence to come back as an enchantment, which is unfortunate for Khalil, but that's how the card works. As long as the trigger's on the stack and as the trigger resolves, all of those effects have to happen from top to bottom. So that's pretty much... I think that's also why it's sequenced that way with the sentences. Some of the game developers from Wizards are definitely putting a lot of thought into how the cards are, written. All right, so there's Urabrask Forge was able to draw a card, but how is he gonna stop this slasher? Oh my God, he's got nothing. All right, Khalil out of the game. I think he could have killed the Frillback and bought a turn, by the way, but looks like he tapped out. And Hilkiah takes on the entire series 2-0 very convincingly. So Hilkiah, I think he likes the new build right now for Golgari midrange, playing the Unholy Annex, playing the Unstoppable Slasher. These are very powerful cards coming in from Duskmourn. And guys, if you have a copy of these, be sure to either keep them or try to sell them from your friends. If you want them to win, of course. And that is it for today's stream. Guys, if you've been watching, thank you so much for tuning in and supporting us. We're going to be streaming once again tomorrow afternoon, I think at 1 p.m. or 2. It's going to be Cardfight Vanguard. I believe it's Vanguard Day. And after that, it's going to be the standard battle for One Piece card game. And then next week is going to be flagship battle. So be sure to follow us at Facebook, even on our YouTube channel and Twitch channel. We'll be streaming them all across those platforms. And you'll be seeing these players be playing their favorite card games. So thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. This is TD Bapo signing off. Peace out. Hope you guys enjoyed our matches.